Hello, welcome. This is going to be my first released exclusive content for Patreon. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I'm really overwhelmed and super grateful by the support and the interest. It just goes to show you that when things are divinely guided, your head can get in the way around, is this divine? Like, should I be doing this? Is this something that is guided? And then usually if it is, you see why later. So excited that you guys are here. And I am inspired to tap into the energy of this new moon in Aries. I know I haven't done videos like this in a while. I just saw an orb. Hey friends, the guides are here. I actually haven't called on the guides, but they're here. They did not need an invitation, but I am going to light some Palo Santo, which, by the way, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. Palo Santo is something you want to be very aware of when you use, because Palo Santo actually kind of opens up the portals and invites in beings from other dimensions. So just be very clear in your intentions when you use Palo Santo. I did not know this and used to use this in a very old late 1800 building that I lived in downtown, not downtown LA, but in like the center of LA. And it used to be where Hollywood starlets in the beginning of the studios used to be housed. Very, very brothel vibes, really interesting. A lot of suicides there. And I used to use Palo Santo all the time without realizing it. And sometimes that worked out well for me and sometimes it did not. And then I learned later. And then sage is kind of a clearing agent. Sage actually protects the space and seals the space so that you are not inviting anything in unless you use the power of your spell casting, your voice, to call them in. Little divergent tangent, but that's what this channel is. That's what Patreon's going to be like. It's going to be really raw, really unfiltered, a lot more personal. I'm going to share a lot more about my own journey and just whatever you all are interested in. That's what it's going to be like. But first things first, let's just do a quick little reading for this new moon in Aries. The transition here is really profound because not only are we in the astrological new year, not only are we moving into spring in the northern hemisphere, and I believe it's fall in the southern, but not only are we in this shift just seasonally, astrologically, all of that, but there's this huge cycle that is closing that I can't even say it's connected to the twin flames. Like I really believe it's just a cycle that we as humanity have been in since about 2020. I would say like spring of 2020, that's just now closing. So it's, and again, there's no like science or reference I can give you for this cycle. It's just an energy that I felt, and I've heard other readers tap into it and tune into it. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not the only one that's getting this, but there has been this cycle, and it's closing now. And there's this new one coming in, and this new one feels lighter. It feels more positive. It just feels like there's so much excitement, so much richness, so much joy around the corner, but we can't quite see it yet. So this new moon in Aries is really interesting. There's this dichotomy because it feels like we really want to rush forward. We want to go into the expression of the new, excitement, just fast pace, initiation, like all this stuff. But for some reason, it just doesn't feel like it's here yet. So with Aries, that can be very confusing because Aries is kind of this initiation energy. It's a cardinal sign. We really want to act. We really want to move forward, but it's almost like there's this unclarity. But I'm gonna dive in and we're gonna get some tarot. I was looking to see if I had any oracle cards here. It looks like I don't, unfortunately. So we'll just do a little bit of a tarot energy reading to kind of see if there's anything else that spirit wants us to know about this new moon. But this cycle is really interesting because it feels like this past really heavier cycle I was mentioning was all about purging and releasing all of that heaviness, that density, the karmic energy that was kind of limiting us from our fullest expression, our fullest potential. And it's like, for those of us that have really done the work, we're actually going to be moving into this very lighthearted, is the best way I can describe it, phase. And for some of you may already kind of be experiencing that, at least energetically. And then when it comes to your 3D surroundings experiences, you maybe are like waiting for it to catch up. but maybe things are feeling a little lighter, but you're still kind of doubting. I know it's happened for me where I'm like, things feel easier, but there's like a part of me that like doesn't want to trust and believe that. Okay, cool. I did get a new deck. I have a couple of new decks actually that I've been playing around with offline, and we're going to use this. And this is, I think, is it called the Night Goddess Tarot? I don't have the box here. Really, really beautiful deck. Really strong feminine energy. So let's just, I'm actually just going to do a 3-card spread, I think, for this new moon in Aries, and allow any other messages that want to come through to come through. Okay, that's 2 cards. We'll take 2. Okay, I'm getting the Fool here. That's too many cards, Spirit. All right, it didn't turn into a 3-card spread, so we'll just take it. Wow, King of Wands is the archetype of Aries, right? In this deck, it's Spirit, but this is the King of Wands card. So that is our crossing card for this whole spread. Very appropriate. Also the Fool, initiation, new beginning. I feel like Aries, I know it's not typically associated, but Aries is kind of like the baby of the zodiac, the Fool, right? Just ventures off into the journey without really knowing what's coming. Okay, so our center cards are the Queen of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. So there is this energy here of, it's actually kind of what I was describing, where we feel like there's new potential here. There's things that are going to be coming and we're going to be working on in our 3D life. There's change. There's just like, there's new, but maybe we don't tangibly see it yet. And so this Queen of Swords energy within us that's been hurt before, that's like no nonsense, no bullshit, is very cautious to get excited. So she's staying in her Queen of Swords energy, even though she's crossed by the King of Wands. So even though she actually wants to get really excited, passionate, just feeling all that, but she's staying cautious. My nose is starting to itch ridiculously, and I know it's also turning red. And so sometimes when I channel, that happens. And I feel like it sometimes means different things, but it's like this message is really, really for somebody. It's probably for a lot of people, but that there is this knowing of a new beginning. And I'm saying knowing very, very specifically. There is a knowing that there is a new beginning here. But the protection, the self-protection of the heart is cautious. It's like, I've been hurt before. I thought I had this new beginning before, and then it didn't happen. And I'm really cautious about that. I'm really being careful about that. And Spirit saying you can trust your passion. Yeah, we have the Page of Cups here as well. But there's been a lot of heartbreak, 5 of Pentacles. There's been a lot of feeling out in the colds. But I also feel like with this message, so many of us have done the work around healing this dualistic energy, this feeling of separation, and recognizing that we're never alone. We're never on our own. We are always, always protected, guided. Everything is always working out for our highest good, our most benefit, our highest benefit. And so there's really nothing to fear, but it's almost like this protective energy within you that has come around because of the trials and tribulations of the past. That she or he has been developed in this practice. That's the part of you that you kind of need to have moved to the sidelines right now. So holding out this potential, allowing anything that's coming to you in this now moment that comes to you at this time in the 3D, trust that it is for this new cycle. Okay. And if something feels misaligned and it doesn't feel good, let it go. Like it could be connected to that old cycle, and you could be being tested. Like, are you really ready to step into this new? Because our next card is the Fool. In this deck, it's called Potential. So, again, I'm really getting that really strong Aries energy. So there are things that feel like they will be getting off the ground. Projects, relationships. I'm hearing trips. So perhaps some of you are going to be traveling and taking a journey. And there is this like very divine nature to it. And you might be confronted in, it's also moving too. I feel like for some, moving homes, moving residency. So there's just things that are going to be coming, and there's a part of you that just is almost expecting it to go wrong, and they want you to expect it to go right. And then if something does go wrong, you have the skills as this Queen of Swords to face it head on, to deal with it as it comes without any issues. Excuse me. I don't know what that could mean, but a lot of energy. So there's this potentiality here. There's a potentiality here for really, really positive things, but you may need to work on your intentions and your focus and switching things into expecting the positive versus expecting the negative. Okay, so our outcome here for this new moon in Aries is really beautiful because there's groundwork, there's a laying of a new foundation here. This is what I mean. It's a new cycle. So you may feel it may take a lot of patience. It may take a lot of work. It may take commitment. For some, it is going to be a connection, love. It is going to be a relationship. Okay. This is what this new moon, the energy this new moon is bringing in. It doesn't necessarily mean this is all going to be happening on or around the new moon, but it very well could. It very well could be. Either way, it's energetically connected to this new moon. So it's kind of what it's ushering in. So, but it's going to take it's like baby steps. It's like, any relationship, any project, any move, anything, it's going to take time. When you move into a house, you're not, I guess some people do this where they just like hang everything up on the wall the first day and get completely unpacked and moved in, but it evolves over time. You realize, oh, I thought I wanted that painting there. I don't want it there. Let me shift it. Or you know what, in this space, I actually want a new table. I think a new table is going to like freshen up the space. It's going to feel good, right? So it's like little things like that. It's an evolution. It's not just you snap your fingers and it's all done and it's all taken care of. It's like nurturing. It's like being in that full energy, trusting that it's going to work out, having that faith, but then taking baby steps, one step at a time. And it's very, what's the word here? Advantageous? That's not correct. There's a lot of light shown on these new ventures, meaning they're very supported. Can't think of the word I wanted to use there. They wouldn't give it to me. But there's like positive omens around it. It's like, yes. If you needed a sign, this is it. If you needed a sign to trust, to surrender, to lean in, this is it. It's good. It's good. It's good. Okay. They want you to know it's good. But it's going to take a little work. We have the 3 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles. So it's going, you're working on your self-mastery here. This is actually what I'm hearing. You've put in a lot of work around your self-mastery. This had to be done in solitude. This had to be done on your own. This had to be done without the distraction, without the influence of others. So you may be coming out of a time of respite, of quiet, of solitude. And now you're moving forward and there's hesitation, right? This Queen of Swords here, there's hesitation that you're ready. Like, am I ready? Can I really do this? And the Aries new moon is like, yeah, you absolutely can. But be patient with yourself, be steadfast, be trusting. You're laying the groundwork, you're laying the foundation. The 8 of Pentacles turns into the 10 of Pentacles. So there is so much potentiality here and you're on that path. And I think the overall message here is let your passion, let your heart guide you and lead you, with the Ace of Cups and the King of Wands crossing it. Let your heart lead you. Follow the joy. Follow what feels good. If something doesn't feel good, stop doing it. I'm serious. It's that simple. It can be that simple. And I know that we're really conditioned away from like we do the right thing or we do the to-do list or work hard, play hard, but the working here is not at the detriment of your joy. It's not at the detriment of your pleasure. The working here is really, it's in union with it because you've healed that duality, you've healed that dualistic nature that keeps you in that separation, that keeps you in that 5 of Pentacles. So I really feel like the energy of this now moment is like you have all the tools within you have faith, expect a positive outcome. Yes, you will need to take action. Yes, you will need to put one foot in front of the other. You will perhaps need to initiate in certain situations if you're getting the guidance to do it. And they're saying you can trust yourself. The Queen of Swords here, she's very connected to the truth. She's very connected to Archangel Michael. She's very, very connected to the knowing. So you can trust what you're getting, and then have the courage, have the, I was going to say naivety, but I don't think that's correct. It's more the willingness to be a novice, to be a beginner, kind of that growth mindset aspect to yourself, where you're like, it's okay if I'm not perfect at this right away. I'm building a relationship, or perhaps this is a long lost, or like it's a relationship that didn't succeed before, and now we're trying again. I'm not going to expect myself to be perfect at this. I'm going to expect there to be bumps in the road, but I have this commitment and this dedication to keep going. This 8 of Pentacles, this 3 of Pentacles. As long as I stay connected to my heart, my joy, my pleasure is my guidepost. My desire is my guidepost. God, my nose, you guys. Woo. Okay. Really, really strong energy there, because it was not itching before I started this reading. I know it is spring, but I swear it's not that. That's really beautiful. Gosh, I want like one more message, but I don't have any of my oracle decks here, and I don't want to like disrupt the mic. So I think I'm going to grab from one more deck and just get some guidance. Any other messages Spirit wants us to know? That's really beautiful. The message that's coming through really loud and clear is like, you got to trust yourself. Like, you have everything you need to succeed. And the fear that you might feel is more just an illusion that you're expecting things to go the way that they once did, but that cycle is really closing. And so now you're just going to be manifesting experiences in your life that will prove to you that the opposite is true, that will prove to you that things can work out. And, you know, it might take a while for the ego to really believe that. And the only way that the ego is going to start to manifest those experiences and have those experiences is if they are willing to be the fool, willing to step in, willing to try, willing to accept, willing to move into it, right? The moon. Okay. So this is really a strong message I'm getting here. There's so much you can't see yet. There's so much you can't see that's conspiring on your behalf, for your benefit, for your greater good. Divine timing is definitely at play. We have the Wheel of Fortune. That 10 of Pentacles I was mentioning earlier, that is what you're working towards. That's what you're creating. So every move, every step you're guided to take in this period, this is the beginning of the year, astrologically speaking. This is like our new year, honestly. Like, as a spiritual person, I always look at April as the new year. The Gregorian calendar is really bullshit in many ways, but that's a topic for another day. So this really is the beginning. And there's so much you can't see, and it's really, really positive. And the great mystery is that divine feminine impulse, right? The mystery is super important. There's something to be said for allowing, receiving, trusting, knowing. It's that commitment to yourself, to the journey, to the faith. Like, it's really, it's a mystery. So we'll never know why it's so important, or maybe we will. But anyways, I have the High Priestess here as well. And I have the 4 of Swords. And I feel like this is like both ends of the energy. So if you're wondering about a person or a situation that involves another person, you both are kind of feeling the same thing. We're on opposite sides of the energy. You both want this, whatever it is you're trying to create. I know many of you tune in to me for twin flame connection. So if that's what this is, then that's what this is. If it's business partnership, you know, whatever, it could be other things. So whatever's applicable for you here, because they're not needing us to be specific, because it's really just the energy of this moon. So there's so much that you both are wondering, and there's secrets to both of you. Like, there's a mystery to both of you that you don't know. One of you is like, does this person want the same thing? Spirit's like, yes, you both want the same thing. And both of your fears are unfounded. Both of your fears are not valid at all. But the only way you're going to find that out is taking the action that you're guided to take, and trusting the divine nature of it, trusting that the divine has a hand in it, that it's blessed. You have the blessing of the universe. The omen, the positive omens are here. And we also have the eight of wands here. So moving very quickly towards this, that is that spring initiation energy, like positive movement forward. But I do feel like the message or the guidance, the kind of the warning, right? There's light and shadow to everything. So if there was shadow in this message, it's you're going to have to take the action. You're going to have to come out of the cave, the hermit cave. Okay. You're going to have to step out into the light of day. I'm getting vampire vibes, which is interesting because in a reading I was doing earlier today, I got in the archetype deck, the vampire card. And it was an interesting message because I was like, I don't really feel vampiric energy from this person because it was, usually vampiric means someone that's draining the energy of someone, but it's actually really clicking now that the energy is more, you have all you need to succeed within you. You don't have to hide away anymore. You don't have to stay in hermit. It's time to get out of the cave, right? You're not going to melt in the sun, right? It's okay. Spirit has got your back. And so yeah, there's a lot you don't see here with the high priestess. There is a lot of mystery. Take the action. You will be rewarded. You will be guided. I'm just connecting the dots here with what I was sharing at the beginning, because this is like a video I'm doing for Patreon, and I will probably eventually release this to the YouTube, but I'm just being reminded that that's it. Like, you're guided to take these steps. They don't really maybe make logical sense, but you just do it. And then you're like pleasantly surprised. So I think that's kind of it. It's like the boogeyman in the closet is so much bigger than it really is. Like there actually is no boogeyman in the closet. It was always you creating that. So I think this moon is going to reveal a lot of that, but you are going to have to take action. You are going to have to put yourself out there and perhaps be a little uncomfortable. So the warning, the shadow is just don't lock yourself in your room and hide away. And that could be very simple. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to go out and go to a bar or go to a party or whatever. For some people, because I know, I think I was just hearing responses of people being like, well, I don't really feel like going out in the world. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It's as simple as like just sending a message to someone. I'm thinking of you, I miss you. You don't have to make plans with them. Or, just sharing something that you've been going through publicly. I don't know, just creating an olive branch to vulnerability, to intimacy, some sort of olive branch. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, beautiful. I hope that resonates. Let me know if you like these types of readings or if there's other things you want to see, because I'm really excited to let this evolve and be created as it goes. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'm sending you guys so much love. I'll be back soon.